possibility for some of us. Some of us are going to be caught in traffic for quite a few days after a major national holiday until things settle back down, both before and after a holiday and during. Traffic patterns are really mixed up. Coming to you today, we have news coming from a house built on a North Carolina landfill has a sinking feeling. These people noticed that their yard was starting to yield more than dandelions, and just inches before the surface, the homeowner dug up glass, spark plugs, even the hood of an old truck. And he bought his house back in 2001. By 2003, he realized something was wrong, and everybody's yard was dropping, and what used to be flat land for the kids to play on is now big sunken areas. And this is coming out of ABC News. Trees that he planted 5 years ago, if you look at them now, they're tilted downhill toward where everything is sinking. And the reason he said was because the neighborhood was built on an old landfill. Everyone remembers Love Canal way back in the 70s and 80s. This is supposed to be something that was supposed to be outlawed a long time ago. And I have a son that's living in Rock Hill, South Carolina, and he has found similar items in some of the field dirt that they used to bring in to fill up part of his domicile, the yard in which the area of land in which his house was placed. And I was suspicious of it myself. I'm still suspicious of it. However, they're saying that this is an old landfill. It was used back in the 1940s and 50s, so I guess that must mean something good to someone. The city of Havelock began building in the 1960s, which was not too long after the landfill was probably closed, and Salter's home was constructed in 1973, which is probably about 20 years later. My neighbor knew of the dump before this area was built out, and he actually remembers when an old school bus was buried. He says now that bus is believed to be under someone's backyard. Salter told ABC News that he had only to dig inches in his yard to find traces of dump like steel, glass, or truck hood. And they put in a call to the EPA in 2003 after he realized that there was a problem. They directed him to the North Carolina Division of Waste Management. Here you go with bureaucracy, folks. With the government shifting gears and placing blame on other agencies. He said the state conducted studies on the neighborhood around 2005. It was discovered during those inspections that there were some cavities of land voids or a mere 2 feet below the surface, believed to be caused by now decomposed garbage. Well, I guess that is a very good feeling of knowing your kids are out playing in the stuff, playing in a garbage dump. Quoted, I get the feeling that I won't be long before I'm coming home, driving up my truck up into the driveway and will sink right through, he said. Well, everyone remembers the guy that his bedroom started sinking, and his brother tried to hold his hand to keep him from going under, but the victim was buried alive, and his house was consumed by a huge hole in the ground. And I don't know what the follow-up story is on that, but it could be something similar to this. And the man moved into neighbor Shannon Richards moved into her house in 1975, and in 2001 learned about the landfill a year later. My problem is with my house settling, I have cracks in my drywall. I even have some doors that won't close anymore. Had a pipe that snapped in before we knew of the landfill. And now I realize that was probably due to that. And they have a mess on their hands like Love Canal. I haven't heard of any of the news about any health issues coming out of this, but I mean, you could imagine what it could be. Moving along, China says that they have no need to steal U.S. military secrets, even though they've stolen about 12 major military um, secrets. Maybe they figure they've stolen enough. I don't know. I mean, they've stolen more than 2 dozen, actually, major U.S. weapons systems. They say they have no need for outside help for its military development. I guess not. It's taken a quantum leap, just like it did with its shuttle program, just like it's done with everything else. I mean, how can you really put security on anything that's being built over there for our own use? I mean, how can you really secure that information and make everyone dulled down to the fact that they don't know the entire process of having to build a critical component to our F-15 jets or whatever, you know? Um, I mean, it's just one of those things, you know. It's like, oh, well, we don't have no need to steal, but we're doing cyber attacks against you every day to steal industrial secrets and to steal military secrets. So coming along with you, gave you a break from that. Serena Williams is on a winning streak now at 26 matches. So I guess she's the Tiger Woods of tennis. And already she's ahead by a set and break thanks mainly to her powerful serving and ground strokes. And she's decided to show that she can caress a tennis ball too, catching her French Open foe flat-footed. Williams definitely hit a drop shot so perfectly it pretty much nestled into the red clay after clearing the net. Delighted, she raised her left fist and looked in the stands where her coach Patrick Mouratoglou shook his right one. And I was like, yeah, I only hit drop shots in practice, Williams said. I never hit them in a match. It's not a go-to shot. But she certainly had plenty of other options. The top-seeded Williams extended her career-high winning streak to 26 matches and improved 69-3 since the first-round loss at the French Open a year ago by beating wildcard entry Caroline Garcia 6-1, 6-2. Wednesday to reach the third round, the American has lost 4 games in 2 matches. Anyway, this was news that was coming off of Yahoo Sports, and now we're moving on to international news. Lebanese TV has revealed that Syria has received Russian missiles. The sleeping bear awakes. Not only has it awakened, it's become a very big oil empire and exporter. And it has key interest in the Middle East because that's where they are shipping their product from. They have pipelines running down through there. And Assad is one of the friendly dictators towards Russia and vice versa. You know, they have a very close relationship. So according to the service, Assad says that he's received long-range S-300 air defense missiles in Syria. Air defense missiles. Who's going to be attacking them unless they're doing something that's worthy of attack? Well, of course, you know, that's left up to public opinion to weigh this out, but Syria is becoming part of the Muslim Brotherhood, which is CIA sponsored, which is part of the same group that killed Anwar Sadat, who was with Jimmy Carter in the Camp David Accords way back in the 1970s when Egypt made peace with Israel, and Mubarak was his successor, and now you know what happened to Mubarak. So anyway, Mubarak's out of the picture. I don't, you know, they were saying that he wasn't friendly towards his constituents. So anyway, that raises the possibility of continued warfare in that particular region of the world. Moving along, there was an arrest made in Disneyland Disneyland dry ice blast, a bomb that went off and caused an evacuation of the theme park before it could be cleared and declared safe. And a Disneyland employee was put on so-called, well, he was put on suspicion of putting a so-called dry ice bomb in a theme park trash can where it exploded. No one was injured in the small blast, but the Disneyland area facility was briefly evacuated. And the Mickey's Toontown section where the incident occurred Tuesday, the trash